The Windows 8 interface is going to be one of the first things you notice, and if it feels like I'm beating a dead horse in this course about the Windows 8 interface, it kind of sounds like some sort of weird Dr. Seuss technical course here. I'm beating a dead horse in this course. Windows 8 has attracted a whole lot of attention out there in the blogosphere, out there among the nerds and the forums and so forth, and first impressions about this fall into two categories. Number one, absolute total abject fear, and then total complete frustration. And the reason I'm beating a dead horse is because a lot of the bad rap on Windows 8 has to do with the new way that you start up seeing the start screen, and people can't see the desktop, and there's no start button. And I'm going to mention that quite a bit in this course, but I really want you to leave here liking what you see better. Now, a little familiarity with Windows 8 eradicates both the fear and the frustration that people are experiencing when they first look at Windows 8. Yes, it does look very different, but it works exactly the same way, and it actually works much more efficiently than it did before. And some of you are already yelling at the monitor, wanting your old Windows 7 back. But let me tell you something. I was here when we went from Windows 3.1, well, actually when we went from DOS to Windows, but then we went from Windows 3.1 to Windows 95, and all the way up through. There were people kicking and screaming all along the way, oh, this is horrible, this is not going to work, Microsoft's going to go out of business, on and on and on. But then after just a few weeks or even days and sometimes just a few minutes of working in the new interface, they fell in love with it, and that is what's going to happen with Windows 8. In Windows 7, let's do the basics here, and I'm going to show you an animation. This will really help you understand what's going on here. In Windows 7, the desktop was the interface home. When you started up Windows 7, you ended up on the desktop. And if any of you can remember when Windows 7 came out, this was the standard screensaver desktop that Microsoft had. It was one of their packaged deals. Okay, so the desktop is what always appeared on your computer, and anytime you wanted to do much of anything, you had to click on the start bar down in the lower left corner. Now, you could put shortcuts down here on the taskbar, right? And you could put shortcuts out on the desktop, but you had to know where they were. You had to go chase them down. You had to do them. And so that was a bit of a problem early on for some people, but everybody got used to this. So we would click on the start bar, and then like magic, the start menu would appear. And so the start menu would fly up, and this really became mission control, if you will, for Windows 7. So it always took a click on the start button to get you to here, and then you had different things going on here. For example, some items like this one, when you saw a triangle out here, when you clicked on this, a whole nother display flew out here, and you could see list of files. This is the getting started section, and this would show you a bunch of applications that you could run for getting started in Windows 7 and so forth. And then there were items that you had space here that you could pin items over here, and you could start to work. You could pin things here, and then you could get to them really quickly, and you could go right click on things in Internet Explorer and say pin to the start menu, right? And things would show up here, and now they saved you a keystroke, right? Or a mouse click. You could just come click on the start button, come right here and see Microsoft PowerPoint or Word, click on it, and boom, open Word, and there you go. Now there's also a potential problem here that a lot of people ran into, and that is there's a limited amount of real estate right here, and so you only could click or pin so many items right here. Then you'd have to start deleting some of these, and so this became kind of an issue. Well, Microsoft did usability studies and so forth, and they found out, hey, wait a minute, almost everybody has to go to the start menu to start to be productive with the Windows interface, so let's just switch that around. In Windows 8, instead of starting on the desktop, which usually led to going down, clicking on the start button, opening up the start menu, then customizing the start menu, why don't we just start on the start menu? And that is what Microsoft has done. The Windows 8 interface begins with a start menu. But it's not the start menu that pops up from the bottom. It runs horizontally, and as a matter of fact, it just kind of keeps going and going and going. It's unlimited, really, in the width. We can roll the mouse, we can drag our fingers, we can use the little scroll bar at the bottom, and we can put all kinds of stuff out here to the right side and just keep going. And it gives you the option to open the desktop when you need it. Think about this. If your mail messages are scrolling through the mail tile here and you can see your newest messages that haven't been read, you don't have to leave the start menu to see those things, right? If you've got Facebook, Twitter, those kinds of apps out here, and you're seeing things roll by, your calendar, if you're seeing the appointments for the day roll by, scroll by right here, you can just glance at your start screen and see a lot of things that are happening. And think about this, now it's one click to mail. Where in Windows 7 you had to click on the start menu, go find Outlook, click on that, or you had to take the time to set a shortcut on the desktop and so forth. And now you just kind of click it and there you go. And so if you want the desktop, you can click, and let me just go back. Notice right down here, it's kind of hard to see on this graphic. But right here is a link to the desktop. You can also just hit the Windows key. Lots of different shortcuts to get there, and boom, you're on the desktop. And once you're here, you're just like Windows 7. Everything you knew about the desktop functions right here. And we'll dig into some more about that a little bit later on. But I hope this helps you understand the Windows interface and makes you a little more comfortable with using it.